interviews. So that is something I struggled with because I had zero industry experience before. I was not thinking about getting an industry job during my PhD, so I did not get an internship. I had come directly from my undergrad. So after high school, I went to undergrad, I came to PhD. I wanted to be a professor, but that all went downhill very quickly. And then things completely changed from my traditional academic path to an industrial path. So that was, I think, one of the biggest challenges I faced. And I wrote my stories, I re-refined it, I showed it, I even shared it with some of my friends who were in industry, and asked them to comment on it. It's like, what do you think? Is this a good story? What aspects does needs more work? Little things like that. And refining multiple times, I think, made me comfortable with my story itself, because I remembered everything. I had it in my memory, so I could very clearly tell my story and answer all the related questions. So that was one thing that helped me. Another thing, these are the technical part, right? So technical part, during my interviews, I actually always asked, what are you going to judge me on? Are you going to ask me to code on site? Are you going to ask me to present? So you have the ability to ask. And when I first started interviewing, that's something I didn't know. I would not ask because I thought, if I ask, they might, there might be some negative marking against me, but that's not true. The more you ask, the more information you get, right? So I started asking. And after I have the information, I practiced coding, I did mock interviews for myself, and I also interviewed some of my other friends. Just like grad school presentation, when you have a big presentation coming up, you pretend to be the audience, you present to your friends. Exactly all the skills that we learned in grad school, I did the same exact thing, but for a job search process. And all of that, really, especially as a first time job seeker, were so important to me, because I had no idea. I had no idea. For example, at the end, in the very beginning, when I first started interviewing, when the interviewers would ask, do you have any question at the end? I did not know what was the right thing to do. Should I ask questions? Because I have a lot, but am I going to sound stupid? What's the balance, right? So all these little nuances that nobody had discussed with me earlier, I learned as I practiced more. So do not be afraid to take interviews, to fail. I personally, I was looking at my Dropbox the other day, and turns out I applied for 33 companies. I ended up getting 3 jobs. So it took me 30 iterations, 30 different interviews to land the 3 jobs I had at the end. And that's where I stopped. So, keep at it. Next slide, please, Sophie. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So once you land the job, what happens next, right? So my first instinct was, whatever job I get, I'm going to stop. First job I get, that's it. But later, like Yuan said earlier, you become more confident about yourself. You feel like, oh, I got this. I don't need, 2, 3, 4 days of preparation for your interview. So my pace of interviewing, the rate of interviewing increased, and it became easy. And towards the end, honestly, I started liking it because I already had a job offer with me. So that made me so much more confident to continue to negotiate. And then one thing that I was a little scared about was, do I need to get back? Do I need to tell them that I'm accepting your job right away? If I say, give me 2 weeks, is it going to look bad on me? Like all these things that I didn't know, but I actually just asked. I said, when do you need me to get back to you? Right. So at that time, talked to another company, and I said, see, I have to get back to a different company in, say, 5 weeks. Can we expedite the process? And they did. So if you communicate, and say, okay, yeah, I have other things that I need to take care of. I am a little um, in a rush. Can we speed this up? And they will. So keep doing it. And the benefit of doing it is twofold. First, you might just land the job that you love the most. And second, which is something that think none of us think about is negotiation, right? Especially coming out of grad school, it's such a hard topic to talk about. How do you bring up money? Why do you bring up money? We're so happy with our grad school stipend, you don't even think about anything else. So just this conversation also was one of the hardest conversation I had to have. They asked me how much I expected. That was the first question they asked me, and I had no idea what to tell them. So I freaked out. I remember, and I said, "Can I talk to you Monday?" Because they asked me this question on Friday. I said, I have no idea what is the right number to start. And so after that, I did my research. Someone, so one of my closest friends, I talked to them. They helped me with it. There's a lot of resources online that you can look up that gives you an average ballpark of where your salary should be. And although you are scared, although you're not confident, although it's your first job, they recommended that I asked as a for my level. So I did. And there was, of course, negotiation back and forth. I did not get what I wanted, but I was so much more confident after that. I started believing in myself more because I had the negotiation discussion with the recruiters, right? So that really helped me believe in myself and my potential and realize that, okay, if they're willing to have me work with me, I must be really good. I must be good. They must see something good in me and they must trust me, right? So that gave me a lot of confidence in myself going in. Next slide, please. All right, so at the job now, at the job, first job, I really felt out of place because I was used to being around my lab mates, similar age, and all of a sudden I am in this role where folks are much more experienced. Everybody has, 15, 20 years of experience in technology. So I actually felt really out of place. So I started to network internally, actually, and I found people like me, and people who had some kind of academic background, who made kind of a career switch, who I could talk to and just say, okay, I'm struggling, I need to go grab coffee. So that was really the first thing I did. Second thing I did was I found an internal mentor, which was who was not on my team, and that really helped me because my manager was awesome. My manager who hired me was awesome, but I realized that having a mentor outside was also really helpful because they told me, if you don't like this job, you can refer internally. Did you know that? You can move from one role to the other within Amazon. Did you know? So little things that my manager or somebody in my team would not tell me. I had someone who I could count on who started telling me that. Third thing is asking right question, because just like in grad school, right? First 6 months you can ask as many questions as you want. You can do the same in corporate world too. So I really played I'm new here card well because I actually did not know a lot of things and I did not hesitate to ask. And I think that actually made the hiring committee believe in me because I was not pretending to know anything, right? I was not pretending to know anything. When I didn't know, I just was very transparent and I say, I do not know. I need some time with you. I really do not understand what's going on. I need help. That also means that I had to put a lot of time. I still do actually work after hours because I am continuing to learn new things. But then at the same time, if you ask, they're experts. They'll just jump in a call with you, 15 minutes. They can help you as opposed to you working 5 hours someday and not figuring out what is going on. So it's completely okay to ask. Help is out there. And the last thing, be a mentor to others, right? That also, I think, really makes you believe in yourself as much as you are helping others. Growing yourself too, being a mentor actually really lets you believe in yourself, and also growing your community. So something that I really talk about internally is we need PhDs because we think differently. I have started raising my voice now and I say, okay, yeah, we need people with different opinion. Diversity is important. It just makes work culture much, much better. And I'm trying to bring in newer folks, newer PhD graduates to a role that traditionally was not meant for academic training, right? So the solutions architect role, there's no degree for solutions architect. You'll probably study computer science, but even then it's not quite directly transferable. So this is a slightly non-traditional role, but if you're a mentor, you can bring folks like yourself, people in your network, and bring a diversity and diverse angle to your work culture, which is also pretty important as you grow your career. Sophie, next slide. And that's probably the last one. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is really the last one. Two things I wanted to tell you, and I have a story for the end, is to believe in yourself, right? So if you have PhD, you really ask yourself, you can do anything. You can really train yourself to do anything. So that's something we need to believe in. I know it's difficult, and also do not hesitate to take risk in career. Professional life is it's pretty much the same. If something does not feel like it's right, you can always come back, but never hesitate to take a chance if you think is the right path for your professional career. The last story I wanted to tell you, I'm not going to reveal the name of the company, so but this is a story that happened to me when I was applying for my job. So there was a job opening in a chemical biotech company. They were looking for someone who could do lipid molecular dynamic simulation, right? And then I said, okay, wow, this role probably looks like it's made for me. So I did not, normally what I would do is I'd find somebody in that company, connect with them, ask them to make a referral for me. But that role looked like it was actually for me. So I said, okay, I do not need to do any of this. I'm just going to go apply. And I applied online, and in 2 days I got rejected. That was a shock to me because I thought I at least had a good shot. I should have talked to the hiring manager or the recruiter, somebody in the company, because I thought I was really good for that role. After that, what I did was I said, okay, I'm going to take the matters in my own hands. So I went to LinkedIn. I found who the recruiter was for that company. I messaged her personally instead of their portal. I said, I applied for this role. I have no idea what happened, but looks like I got rejected. Do you want to take a look at my resume again? And I personally reached out to her, and she said, yeah, sure, send it to me. I sent her my resume, and in a week, I got 3 rounds of interviews. I got phone screening, I got second phone screening, I was invited on site, and I got the job. So I got the job. I did not take the job, but I got the job, and I was able to turn the tables because the online application portal just screwed up. I somehow never made it past the portal, but because I thought, that was really made for me. I was the right fit for the role. I believed in myself, and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And I took an alternate route, and I got the job. And it was very satisfying to get the job. I really loved it because it was exactly what I had done for my PhD. And at the end, it didn't work out, but I am in a great uh, I talk to the hiring manager even now because she also thought I was the right person for the job, right? So that was something I wanted to share with you all. So if you see something that you think you're a right fit for, go after it. It's worth following what you think is right for you.